Okay, make another part. I don't know, maybe I'll make several parts. I don't know. But I need to talk about this. This is very important, and I thank my computer for not judging me. Thank you. Cool. So, and then there's a society. They say they're so spiritually advanced. They don't judge anyone, right? They're so spiritually erected that, that they don't judge anyone. But then the judgment comes up anyway. It shoots up like a boomerang. It's like this decision. We are above judgment and reaction. Okay, that's just another idea. That's just another mask that people wear. That's just another defense mechanism. And they don't know it. They think this is for real. They think they are really enlightened. And they don't understand it. And I just want to put in parenthesis here before I'm misunderstood. I love all living beings. I love the girl too, you know. If she has been made neurotic with this, I feel compassion for her. I really do. But right now is my moment of venting. And I reserve my right to vent. I reserve my right to express how I feel about the way all of these people are treating me, or the way they're treating others, the way they're treating the whole world. I see it in other people's videos, I encounter this all the time. There was a guy from India. I wanted to have a philosophical conversation with him. He seemed to be very informed about the teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti, and he seemed to be on the side of compassion, and he seemed very nice. So I was talking to him for like over a year or something, off and on, and I wanted a philosophical conversation, not even a debate. I'm not interested in some kind of video game conversation. A lot of people, they take a conversation as a video game. One wins and one loses. That's the ego. The ego does that, and it wouldn't matter how much they think they are spiritual. It happens. Okay, they think they are beyond it, but it is there all along. Okay, it's not going anywhere. Okay, some people call it ghosts or demons. Oh, it was my demon that makes me scot-free now. No. You are your demon. Okay, and I don't call it demon or ghost. Hungry ghost is an expression in Tibetan Buddhism. The krage, the needing, the wanting. I always want. People don't understand that they are doing it. They think they are beyond it, but they're doing it. There's so much going through my mind right now. I don't even know where to start with this. People who take ayahuasca, they think they had this enlightening experience with it. And they saw magic numbers. And the reason why is because their whole body is completely shut down. The ego has shut everything down. The ego has gone completely in reverse and into defense. Locked everything up. That's why the magic numbers, because the magic numbers came up showing themselves to my brother, because that's his idea of being enlightened. That's why this show, it's an illusion. It's a fata morgana. It's the depiction of that what he wants to exude to the public, to everyone. That's the image he wants to give out. Like he is so massively sophisticated. Sorry, I want nothing to do with this. Okay, I'm not sophisticated. I am not. If people call me trash, I'm on board with that. I'd rather be seen as trash, as an ordinary person, ordinary woman. I'm an ordinary person. I'm not somewhere in the clouds of human imagination, in some kind of imaginary ivory tower that towers over the world. That's not me. If they want to play that game, then that's where they're at in their personal psychological development. Sometimes it appears that people seem to be stagnating. That's why I call some people stagnator souls, because they appear to be stuck, but nothing is stagnating. They are also, even the stagnating is part of the learning journey. So this is where they're at. And if they have to live like this for several lifetimes, then that's what they have to do. Okay, maybe some people have to experience hardship and mental disconnect. And this feeling of, I saw a lot of people that were, at least they had this honesty. I don't know where this was. Was this under Eckhart Tolle's video or Teal Swan? But I saw some honest people that said they feel numb. They feel like they don't have compassion. And they feel a little unsettled about this. Just it feels a little bit unsettling now that they hear someone else talk about compassion. And then there are other people that react viciously when someone talks about compassion. There are people that get violently mad, and that's a direct, complete ego resistance. That's like they have identified themselves also with the numbness and with the lack of compassion. That's become an identity. It's even socially accepted by some groups, by some societies, by some cults. And then it becomes a massive accumulation of identity. And then when someone talks about compassion, then they completely freak out. The reason why they don't freak out over a lot of Buddhists or so-called self-proclaimed spiritual people talking about compassion is because they know they feel energetically that those are just masks, so they don't feel threatened by this. The ego sees right away. The ego is very psychic. In the least so psychic people, that I think everyone is psychic. It's just how we deal with it. It's just how much we are attuned to it, and in which way we use this psychic ability, in which way we use our intuition, our perception of others. So when the ego takes over, then the ego is not separated from the person. The ego is the person. That is the state. It's a mental state that they're in. Just as someone with multiple personalities, that's a more complicated form of disconnect. But all of these different personalities are part of that person. The person just is this other character in that moment, and that can change according to the circumstances. It always changes according to the situation that they're in. I know people who changed according to the situation very, very quickly and instantly. Not with multiple personalities, but it was just a switch of a mental state that can be turned on and off in an instant. Or states of extreme denial, as in my mother. All of those are coping mechanisms. The multiple personalities are coping mechanisms. It's an ability. It's a brain ability to cope with pain. That is an ability, and it's being used. If you are given a tool in a scary situation, you will use that tool. You're not going to look for another tool. You use the tool you have, and that's what people do. And some people use the tool of violence. And it's not a productive tool, okay? Many of these tools are not very productive in making the world better. But it is all they know in that moment. And it's very tragic. I can look at this calmly from a wider perspective. But I'm not a god. I am not in an ivory tower. Okay, I am right here on earth, on this couch, no different than anyone else. In my existence, with my pain, we all have different brains. We all have different ways of coping with things. With different soul journeys and or different stages in learning, in growing, in healing. Okay? And there's no judgment behind it. It is what it is. That's why jealousy needs to fall away, because you're precious and you are where you are. Okay? You are precious and perfect just the way you are, and you are at that stage where you are. Okay. It's very tricky when we talk about different levels of mental development, because then it nips itself in the butt again at the end. And then the ego comes back in and uses this. So, because the ego uses hierarchy. Hierarchy is an illusion. Okay. It is an egoic thing. The ego always wants to feel better than someone else. My family, they are completely unconscious on this egoic train that they're running off with. They don't understand. And then it doubles itself up by them saying they're understated. Don't they see? I saw it right away. Don't they see how overstated that statement is? To say, I am so understated. I'm so humble. Great, yes. I'm on a pedestal. Don't they see that this is, again, the voice of the ego, the resistance? It's an arrogant act out. That's what that is, and nothing else. All of those are masks that people hide themselves behind. I mean, it goes into every niche and every niche, into every level of society. I'm gonna make another part because I'm not finished yet.